Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to test some more viral makeup. I probably would have put the products on the screen somewhere around here, but I'll give you my honest thoughts, see if they're any good. I will leave them linked down below. If that sounds good, give me a thumbs up. And a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Wild. How cute is this little package? Look at the little bees. I actually think this is my favourite Wild deodorant case yet. They've collaborated with Emma Bridgewater and it's this beigey cream colour with little bees, and the bees have got blue wings and the text is in blue. Blue is probably my favourite colour, and specifically this blue colour. I just think that is the cutest little deodorant case. Not that your deodorant case particularly needs to be cute, but I really like it. I think it's adorable. And it has actually been very nice spring weather the past few days, although I don't want to say that too loudly because it will probably be raining tomorrow knowing England, but very cute little spring case. Matches the vibes currently. I do have a discount code which is SOPH, which gets you 20% off anything on the Wild website. They've obviously got their classic deodorants. They've got the deodorant cases that you can get personalised with your name. They've got so many different colours now. They've got loads of different fragrances of the actual refillable deodorant. They're also doing body products now, so they've got a refillable shower gel, which I do have in my shower, the coconut one. I highly recommend. But along with the case, they do also have this spring scent, which is honey and cactus flower. Also probably one of my favourite scents of the actual deodorant. To me this smells fresh but also a little bit vanilla-y. Let me just check what the notes are. Oh, there's coconut in that as well. That's what I could smell. So this is the honey and cactus flower scent. It blends sweet richness of honey with the delicate allure of blooming cactus flowers. Cactus flower? I have never smelt a cactus flower, but it smells very nice. It does also say here that the new scent is vegan and there's no real honey in it, if anybody wanted to know that. I just want to note, if you are getting this case, this one opens slightly differently from their previous cases. You literally just pull the bottom off. You don't have to like pinch any buttons, it just pulls out. And then you take your little compostable refill and just pop it on the top here. And then you can reassemble and then you're good to go. And it just twists up like a deodorant does. And then as usual, you just need a couple swipes under each armpit. I've been using Wild for, it must be coming up to, I don't know if it's 2 years or 3 years even, but a long time now. And I love it. Most of my family's using this now. Ellie's using this now. It doesn't sting my armpits. It actually works as a deodorant, which is probably the most important thing, but it doesn't have the harsh chemicals and the aluminium salts that you get in a regular antiperspirant. So it's, well, for me, I find it a lot more gentle on my armpits. Obviously as well, it's refillable. The little inserts of the actual deodorant are compostable, so it's better for the environment. And I just really like them as a brand. I like how it's an easy switch to do something a bit more sustainable. I've also had a few of you guys say that you've tried this on my recommendation and have really enjoyed it, which is always good to know. I'm not actually sure how long my code is going to be around for. I do know though that this case is limited edition, so if anyone is interested, I will leave a link down below. I will also put a QR code somewhere on the screen if that is easier, but thank you so much Wild for sponsoring me again. Very, very cute. Okay, so viral product number one is the L'Oreal Glotion, which is their natural glow enhancer. I've got the shade 902 Light Glow. I've seen this a lot on my TikTok, and I believe this was originally a product that was big in America and it's just been brought over to the UK, and this is our UK version, which I'd imagine is maybe slightly different. This was kind of advertised as like a glowy, highlightery sort of skin tint type thing. I've seen people using this in the same way that they would use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. Now I'm like, do I rub this in with my hands? Do I use a brush? I guess I'll use my brush. I have to say though, I have actually tried this before this video. A lot of these products I have actually tried already, but I've not tried them on camera because I was sort of like testing them out beforehand. Oh, actually my brush has kind of just eaten a lot of that, and that's not really done a whole lot. I'm pretty sure when I used this the first time, I used my fingers and just blended it all in. The first time I put this on, I just kind of felt like I looked like the Tin Man. Don't get me wrong, it definitely does what it says it will do. It's glowy, but I think maybe I would prefer this as a liquid highlighter rather than a thing that you put all over your face. But I mostly have seen people putting it all over their face like this. Let me see if I can rub it in with my fingers. So it does give a little bit of a tint, and it does actually feel nice and hydrating. But I was kind of comparing it to like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter and the e.l.f. Flawless Filter dupe, what is it called? You know what I'm on about, the e.l.f. one that also went viral. But this one I find is more metallic, but it doesn't really have any coverage. You know, like how the Charlotte Tilbury one and the e.l.f. one and the collection one, they have a little bit of coverage, so you can almost use them as a skin tint. I just find this too much. I'm looking in the viewfinder and the light is literally like beaming off my forehead. It does kind of dry down as well, but it feels a little bit sticky. Overall, generally this product, for what I've seen people using it for, this is just, it's not for me in this purpose, but I do want to try this just as a liquid highlighter on top of my cheeks. And maybe some people might want this look if your skin is really dry and you can't really get any shine out of it, like maybe you like this kind of thing. But I will definitely try it on my cheeks, so stay tuned. I forgot to mention I did get this one in PR. The next two products Why am I shaking this? It's literally a concealer pot. I will shake the skin tint. The next two products are from Made by Mitchell. This is their new, well, I say their new, his new. Mitchell is like so involved in his brand. The Truth Tint Sheer Skin Tint and the Bolt Balm Concealer, which is a balm concealer, which when I first heard that, I was kind of like, really don't know how I'm going to feel about that, but then I saw videos of him swatching it and I was like, oh, it does look really nice. This has got a good shade range. It was £16, I believe. Actually, I think both of them were £16 each. I bought these on the TikTok shop because I think Mitchell mostly sells through TikTok or on Beauty Bay as well. I think you can get these. But I've got to say, right, I ordered these on Saturday. They arrived on Sunday. I was so ridiculously impressed with how quickly the shipping was. I did do a little wear test first impressions of this on my TikTok, but I know that not everybody has TikTok, so I thought I would also show this in a YouTube video. And also it's probably a bit more like HD on YouTube. Something right off the bat that I'm not too keen on about the packaging. I don't mind a squeezy tube, however, because you have to shake this, because I believe it's a water-based skin tint, when you then open it, it starts like exploding out the top, so it's already really messy, and this is only the second time I'm using it. But other than that, I think the packaging's kind of cute. So I did do a whole wear test on this, so let me just blend that out. And I mean, obviously you have to consider that I've got that shiny tin man thing underneath my makeup, but I went for this shade because I thought it would match my tan the best. Somebody asked me on Instagram which shade I think I would be if I wasn't tanned. I think it would either be TT1 or TT3. To me, they look so similar in the swatches, but TT2 is actually the lightest shade. I think that would be too pale. Some skin tints, like the Maybelline one that I use all the time, that one's more of like a tint to foundation. This is definitely more of a true skin tint in that it just gives you a bit of a tint, and it's definitely light coverage. I don't really think you could get much more coverage out of this than light, but it feels nice and hydrating. It's very thin and very light. It doesn't feel super sticky. It kind of feels a bit like skincare-ish. Oh my god, it would look so much better without that L'Oreal thing underneath it, but it is what it is. I am definitely going to bring some bronzer down my neck, don't worry about that, but I'm going to use the Bolt Balm, which I got the shade BB1, which again, is not the lightest shade. It's kind of strange. Like the lightest shade is the second shade. I know that they do it by undertone, but in my head, like looking at all the swatches, it was like light, very light, light, medium, dark. Like, however, this shade is pretty good for concealer for me. And I'm just going to use my beauty blender to pick some of this up. And then let's do one eye at a time. It definitely isn't a full coverage concealer. It has some coverage, absolutely. Like, it does a pretty decent job. And my conclusion of my TikTok video, in case anybody doesn't have it, like, look, that does a pretty good job. I wore it for a total of 7 hours, and I did definitely get oily, like, throughout that time, which I was expecting anyway, because a lot of skin tints aren't necessarily designed for oily skin, because quite often they're more hydrating, they're more glowy, they don't have the kind of lasting power, other than the Maybelline one actually. So I did definitely get oily throughout the day. It broke up a little bit around my nose. However, it is still a product that I would use on days where I do just literally want a bit of a tint on my skin. That being said, I think if you do have really oily skin, or if you're looking for something that's got really good coverage, then the Truth Tint is probably not going to be your kind of product. Like if you've got a lot to cover, like lots of redness or acne or pigmentation, then you're probably not going to be the biggest fan of it. But if you have dry skin and you're looking for something that gives a glowy finish but a little bit of coverage, and you just want to kind of even out your skin tone, then I think you'll like both of these. And actually, once I've put the concealer on to give extra coverage in places where I feel like I need it, like on any spots and stuff, I am happy with how it looks on my skin. It definitely makes my skin look very healthy. I definitely liked it more when I didn't have that L'Oreal stuff underneath, but I think my skin looks nice and glowy. And surprisingly, I really was expecting the concealer to crease like crazy. Oh, I've just dipped the lid into it. It didn't crease as badly as I thought. Like, it lasted pretty well after the 7 hours. There still was a little bit of creasing, which I did expect. So for that reason, I would not probably use this concealer under my eyes on the regular. Probably on days where I'm in a bit of a rush and I just want to like have a concealer that I can just dip into with my sponge. Probably for going to the gym and stuff. It works quite well on spots, because if you've got a spot that's really dry, this helps to kind of hydrate it and cover it at the same time. Not my favorite products from Made by Mitchell, but I love that they have a good shade range. I would still definitely use them again, but I've definitely got other skin tints and concealers that I prefer. So those are my thoughts on those new launches. But before I set my face, I've got these, which are the new Maybelline Sun Kisser blush and bronzers. I mean, they're all called blush, but there's like bronzer shades in here as well. I've had these for a while. I've tested them for a while. I'm gonna test them again with a different base and see if I have a different outcome. Let's just see what happens, and then I'll talk you through my thoughts as we go. I'm gonna use Summer in the City, which is one of the bronzer shades. Everyone do a little prayer. So in the ads that I've seen for these, they dot them on like this. Then they go in to blend them. Okay, that worked better than the first time. Did it? Let me try the other side. I'm zooming you all the way in for this. Let's try it on my forehead. So let's use a little bit more because that was not enough. So let's put a little bit more on my cheek. To be fair, that worked better that time than it did the first few times I've tried these. Maybe because my base is now so glowy. Let's try on this side. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but where I put those two little dots, it kind of sticks a little bit and leaves behind like the dot marks. Is that making sense? Let's see what happens on my forehead. Like, am I just being crazy? But can you see like a dot there? Is that still there? Like, I'm telling you now, this has definitely worked a lot better than it did the first like few times that I tried these, because I tried them with different foundation bases. I mean, I guess they were never this glowy, but with the regular foundations that I use, like in combination with the Maybelline Skin Tint, which is a little bit more on the like semi-matte kind of side, I just couldn't get these to blend. And it was leaving behind like the dot marks, and I found them to just be a bit too sticky. And I don't know if you can see like here, it's just gone a little bit patchy. Like from far away and from here it looks kind of fine, but up close there's just a bit of patchiness going on. And I have loved so many of Maybelline's recent launches, but I just could not get along with these blushes and bronzers. I think for me the formula is just a bit too sticky, that it kind of clings to patches. And like even on my forehead here, like there looks like there's a missing chunk of bronzer and then like a big old chunk of it. Hang on, let me see if I can fill in the gap. Let's try it on my nose. I know it's not a nose contour and it's more of a bronzer, but let's try it on my nose anyway, because I would usually with bronzer products. Let me just see if I can add a bit of that bronze. Let's see if I can use this as a contour on my nose. Yeah, I was so excited to see these launch because I was like, oh my god, yes, like we need more cream blushes in Super Dragon Boots, but it just wasn't for me. And I hate to say that, I'm sorry Maybelline, but it's just how I feel. And then these as well, like I saw the shades and were kind of like, ooh, these look nice, like a really nice peachy colour. There's this like cool tone pink, which I thought that a lot of people would love that. And then there's this City Sizzle colour, which is a reddish pink. So let me just put on some of that, which is what I did initially. The peach one, and then the pink one. And then if I blend that in, it just kind of disappears into nothing. Like there's a slight hint of colour, but like from what was in the tube, I was really hoping it was going to be more pigmented. I think they're just a bit too light. Like maybe on super fair skin tones they would be more visible, but like look, when you blend out this pink colour, like where did it go? It's just gone. And then let's try this darker pink colour as well to see if, oh my god, that's a lot. Hello. Oh no. What's that? Steak.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That worked.
Sorry, we had a steak interval, but you see? I'd now just have a circle on my face. Also as well, like this colour looks so bright when you first put it on, and it kind of just blends out into nothing. I was really disappointed with them. They just didn't work for me, and fair enough, maybe they work for some other people, but in my personal opinion, I think there are better blushes, like cream blushes and bronzers on the market that like I wouldn't repurchase these. And I feel bad. Like I've worked with Maybelline a lot and I love a lot of Maybelline products, but these ones were just not for me. Please let me know if anybody has tried those and you've got on with them, or if you've not got on with them, let me know. Like, is it just me? Just gonna set me face. This is an old Primark powder that's not available anymore, but I'm just trying to use it up. What is it? Oh, you're such an angel.
Good, yeah?
You know what? I do most of the cooking in this house by choice, but James knows how to cook a good steak. Do I even need to bring bronzer down my neck now? I feel like the concealer and the powder kind of made me even everything out. The next thing that I got, which was part of my order when I did the skin tint order from Maybelline Mitchell, I got one of the new bronze pods, which is the shade Caramel Kiss, which looks like this. Are you joking me? Well, that's good. Great. It's everywhere. Anyway, this is the shade Caramel Kiss. I'm gonna try this with my regular... Why is there an eyelash in the middle of my forehead? Oh my god. I've just noticed my base looks so patchy. What the hell is going on here? That is not the skin tint. I think that's the L'Oreal thing underneath, because the skin tint yesterday looked lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna try this bronzer with my regular bronzer brush, because I tried it yesterday, but I was using a more dense brush and it was just a bit too much. It's very, very pigmented. I love a pigmented product, but I think sometimes, especially with things like bronzer, it's really easy to kind of, like, I'm just literally was doing that, and then it's really easy to kind of go overboard with them, and I kind of prefer my bronzers to be a little bit more buildable than being so intensely pigmented. It has a little bit of glow to it. There are some kind of microfine glitters in there, which I think might not be for everyone. Again, he has a great shade range in this bronzer, and I really like the packaging. The actual bronzer itself, it's a little bit too pigmented for me to use on like a daily basis, because I would probably dip into it and take way too much and then spend so long trying to blend it out. Like, you just have to be very, very careful with how much you pick up on your brush, because it's quite a lot. I do like the colour though, and you do get a nice big mirror in there, so handy for travelling if you don't gouge a chunk out of it. It just keeps getting worse. Like, can you see my nose right now? Like, how separated everything is around there. This one's a bit of a fail, isn't it? The next thing will not be a fail. I know for a fact, because I have tried these. I don't think I've done these in like a testing kind of video. Again, I did make a full like Instagram reel and TikTok all about these Rare Beauty blushes. I got the shades Cheer, Hope, and Happy. Happy I used in my previous video, which was, oh no, probably like 2 videos back from now, which was my wedding trial makeup. My favourite out of the 3 that I got is the shade Cheer. I've definitely been reaching for this one more. This one is the shade Hope, which looks a little bit more neutral, but then like if I compare it to Cheer, Cheer looks a little bit more peachy pink. This one looks like it will be more neutral, but when you actually put it on your face, it almost has this undertone of like cool toned pink that reminds me a bit of those, do you remember the old school like pink reflect highlighters? There was one of them in my Revolution palette, like that very pink icy kind of highlighter. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use Hope on one side. These are really nicely pigmented though, and they do give a nice glow, but not as much of a glow as the highlighters. So can you see like the glow that that's giving is like this cool toned kind of glow, but then it's, I don't know, it's a bit of an odd shade because it looks kind of neutral and pinky and subtle, but then the glow from it is like that cool toned pink. It's pretty, but it just wasn't my favourite out of the 3. My favourite out of the 3 is the shade Cheer. These are also very delicate, so you've got to be careful with them. I've seen a few people smash them like I did with a couple of the highlighters, so you do just want to be careful. But these were kind of advertised like if the liquid blushes and the highlighters had a baby, but I would say that these are definitely not as glowy as the liquid highlighters. Yeah, see, this is the shade Cheer, and for me, I just prefer that one a little bit. It's definitely my favourite of the 3. Add a little bit to that side, add a little bit on my nose. I really like it. If I was to go back in time, I would have just ordered this shade, although how was I to know, because I'd not tried them all. But they are really lovely blushes, and they do give like a subtle kind of glow. They have really nice pigment. I've also seen these used on like a variety of different skin tones, and they look really pretty, so these are a win for me. Has there been a Rare Beauty product that I haven't liked? I don't know. There probably has actually. Oh yeah, maybe like the original, some of their original lipsticks were like not my fave, but blushes, get a thumbs up from me. I was just about to do my eyebrows, but quickly before then, I'm gonna take the Glotion. I'm gonna dab the Glotion on my sponge and see if I can add it as a highlighter. Possibly a terrible idea. Ooh, that looks nice. Wait, let me just look in a mirror because it could look horrific. Sometimes I look in the viewfinder, I'm like, oh yeah, I look good. Then I look in a mirror up close and I'm like, oh, quite nice, quite nice. Although I do feel like it's kind of stopped just there and there's a bit of a powdery line. It's definitely working as a liquid highlighter over the top of my makeup. Although I've probably brought that a bit too close to my under eye. Hang on, let me go back in with me powder and just blend that a little bit more. Yeah, to be fair, that is working. So if you're into that kind of thing, like adding some glow over the top of your makeup, it definitely works for that. And it doesn't look too bad considering I've mattified my entire face. This is what it looks like. There's almost like a bit of a line from where my like under eye powder stops, but really bringing out my mid-cheek lines today, but maybe I'm just dehydrated. This is the Maybelline Build a Brow Pen. If this competes with the NYX one, I don't know how I was going to finish that sentence. I kind of hope it does because I love the NYX brow pen. It's one of my favourite brow products of all time in the whole world. I got sent one of these in PR. They sent this shade Soft Brown. I tried Soft Brown. It was not doing it for me. It was too light. So you get a little brow gel on one end and then the pen on the other end. So I went into Superdrug and I got Ash Brown, which is the same shade that I use in the NYX one. The nib looks exactly the same as the NYX one, just like very, very thin. Let's give it a go. Ooh. We're off to a good start. I was concerned when I tried the soft brown one because it literally did nothing. The problem sometimes with brow pens, actually with pretty much every brow pen that I've tried other than the NYX one and the Anastasia one, is that sometimes they kind of get clogged up with foundation or concealer or like skincare, and then they stop working after you've done like one eyebrow. Whereas the NYX one just stays liquidy for me like until it runs out, and it's amazing and I love it. Although that could be the shade. Like I'd recommend get a darker shade than you think you'll need, because the soft brown one did like nothing for me. But maybe it's the same for the NYX one too, because this one in ash brown is looking pretty nice. Okay, I will say though, I will have to keep you posted on this because I'm curious to see how quickly it kind of dries up. So I will keep using it, but if you know of anybody that has been using this publicly and has posted about it, maybe drop them a quick question and say, how's it holding up? Is it still like going? Has it run out yet? And then I'm just gonna use the little brow gel from the other side. Although this isn't really picking up much product. Hello. But I do kind of like how there's a brow gel on there as well. And if anything, just a spoolie, because sometimes with the NYX one, I go to flip it round and use a spoolie and I'm like, wait, there's no spoolie. So far, I like it. And I will keep you zoomed in because the next thing is this Essence mascara. I purely bought this after seeing it in one TikTok video. Holy crap. That is a big brush. Look at the size of that brush. This is the Essence I Heart Extreme Crazy Volume mascara, and it's got a crazy wand. I'm just gonna try it because the video that I saw, the girls' eyelashes looked so incredible. They were almost reaching the moon. Like they were so long and voluminous, and I think the video had millions of views. So far so good. Let me keep going. It feels like quite a dry formula, which is good. I like a dry formula because then you generally can get more volume and it's not as messy to apply. Wait, is it the formula that's dry, or is it just because the brush is so... The bristles are so short and there's so many little bristles. It really grips your eyelashes, which is what you need for volume and length. So it drags that product up to the end of your lash without just like falling off your eyelashes. Oh, by the way, I bought this on Amazon. Does anybody know where else you can get Essence now that Wilko stores have closed down? Because yeah, they used to sell it in Wilkinson's, but then it closed. So I don't know where you can get it now in the UK if it's not online. Maybe it's just online only, but Essence definitely have a few gems. And oh my god, this is actually making my lashes so long. It's a little bit clumpy though. We're getting a few clumps, but I think it was like £6. It was very affordable. Yeah, my eyelashes are looking so long. I have also been using a lash serum recently, although I'm not going to say which one yet because I'm not doing an ad with it or anything. It's not my own brand, but I will be reviewing it soon in one of these kind of videos, but I've not quite tested it long enough yet to give my final thoughts. But holy crap. Okay, I should have just stopped because I kept going and now it's looking quite clumpy. I love the brush on this. I love how it grips your lashes. However, if you're looking for length, it's definitely done that, but just be a little bit careful because it can go a little bit clumpy. Tried to kind of pinch some of the clumps off, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I will keep playing around with it and see if I can make it less clumpy, but my lashes definitely look really long. Maybe not quite as long as the girls in the videos, but for £6, it's done a pretty good job. Also, I'm sure it's probably less than £6 if it was in Wilko. Like online, they usually put the prices up, but pretty nice. And then the final thing that I'm going to test, this is down to Alex Earl. I've seen these YSL lipsticks everywhere. Their marketing smashed it with these. They had Dua Lipa as their campaign. I've seen so many ads for these. I've seen so many like organic videos of people using these on TikTok. Alex Earl, I believe, did a paid ad with YSL, and for some unknown reason to me, I was sent the PR box in this like squishy... I'm never getting rid of this box. Like some PR boxes, a lot of the time, they're not sturdy enough or like useful enough that you can keep them and reuse them for something, because they'll have like industrial strength foam glued into the base of them with like, I don't know, Gorilla Glue or something. But this one, they actually seem to think about it, which I appreciate. In that, oh wait, I don't want to tip the lipsticks all over the floor. This one's just got a cardboard insert and then you can use the box for something else, which I really appreciate. And thank you so much YSL for sending me these. I will, however, be giving my honest, true thoughts, although to be fair, I actually really like these. So, okay, I do have a nit to pick. Is that how you say it? I do have a bone to pick. So these are the Love Shine and Candy Glaze lipsticks from YSL, which I believe are a new formula. They smell so nice. I tried this one on my Instagram story because immediately I was like, yes, that is stunning. Something that needs to change, YSL. No one from YSL is going to watch this video. This is the Rouge Volupté Candy Glaze lipstick. And the shade is the shade 15. it says 15, but then it also says 78X52Y. And then on the other lipsticks, there's 15, and then there's 150, and then there's 04, and then there's 203, and then there's 03, and then there's 122. Like, what's wrong with just a name? Or like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. YSL products and Lancome products always confuse me with their shade names because they're always like a mishmash of a bunch of different numbers. Anyway, the Candy Glaze Rouge Volupté lipsticks are supposed to be, I think, a little bit more pigmented than the Love Shine lipsticks. The Love Shines are more of like a tinted balm, and oh, I don't want to use all of these. I did give one to Jazz when she came around the other day because she has a YSL lipstick that she loves, and one of the shades was similar. But oh my god, they look so juicy and delicious on everyone that I've seen wear them, and like Alex L's lips just looked so... They just look so nice. And I have to say, when it comes to lip products, I'm mostly happy to spend a bit more on a lip product if the packaging looks nice and it's a nice formula. Like, I used to collect MAC lipsticks and I love the packaging, especially all of like the limited edition packagings. And I used to dream when I was a teenager of owning one of these YSL lipsticks, particularly the ones that had the gold packaging. And the second thing that I don't like so much about the packaging, and Jazz also mentioned this as well, the colour in the middle does not match the lipstick on the top. And that would just be a nice extra touch, because I feel like with some of the other YSL lipsticks, they have the matching shade in the middle of the lipstick and it matches the top, whereas these ones are just all hot pink. So I just line my lips with e.l.f. Baddest Beige, £2. And then I'm going to use the shade 15 in the YSL, and should I just zoom you in? To me, it smells kind of like apricots, but the way that this just glides on and feels so hydrating, if I just show you, it is definitely like a pigmented, this particular formula, the Candy Glaze ones, these ones are the more pigmented ones, I believe. So they're not just like a tinted lip balm, but it feels like a lip balm. They feel so nice. And at first I was worried that you couldn't wind them back down, but you can. But they make this like clicking noise as if you can't wind them back down, but you can. But they are very soft, so I'd say be careful, don't wind them up fully. I guess people had the same problem with like the e.l.f. tinted lip balms, that people were like smushing them all over their lips. To be fair, the e.l.f. ones are probably quite a good dupe of these, but like, how nice does that look on my lips? I like them. They are definitely an expensive lipstick. They are not a necessity. They feel amazing. They look amazing. Seem to fill in all the lines of my lips and make my lips not look dry. Like, I think I maybe even put a bit too much on. Oh my god, I did, look. Don't put too much on, or they'll do the same thing as the e.l.f. ones. As far as luxury lipsticks go, I really like these. I love YSL's packaging. I think it just always looks so like classy and bougie. I like it. It's not a necessity, but I do really like it. Okay, everybody, that is it from me today. I hope this was helpful. Those are my thoughts on all of those products. Kind of a bit of a mixed bag, actually. A few like flops in here, but also a few like real wins. I hope this is helpful. If you do like any of these products that I haven't liked, no offense, just my opinion. That's what I'm here for, I guess. But as always, when you're buying something, I'd recommend watching a good few reviews, especially of people's skin types that are similar to yours, skin tones that are similar to yours. See what other people think. Like, don't just go off of one review, because that's what I do when I'm buying makeup. I generally will scroll through like a bunch of different reviews on TikTok, see what it looks like on different people, and then decide from there if I want it. So I'd recommend you do the same, but I hope my opinion is helpful anyway. I will leave everything linked down below. Thank you again to Wild for sponsoring the first part of this video for their little Bumblebee Emma Bridgewater case. I will also leave that link down below, and I hope you guys are good. I will see you in my next video. Bye!